Hello, my name is Amy Wagner. In this presentation, I will discuss how I stumbled across the tool, Brooke's System Usability Scale, or SUS, that I used in my dissertation research to assess adult learners' perceptions of hands-on and virtual laboratory experiments in an online science class, and how this tool could be used more broadly in other courses. As I started my dissertation research, I knew what problem I wanted to solve. I wanted to know which type of laboratory experience adult learners preferred in online science courses. Would the students prefer to manipulate real objects using a lab kit or items they have in their home? Or would they prefer to manipulate virtual objects in a simulator? Or would their perceptions be consistent with the data in the literature for traditional students that indicate there's no significant difference between types of laboratory experiences? I knew what I wanted to study, but I had a hard time articulating it in a clear, concise research question that is justified by theory. When going through the literature, there was a term that was used in several papers, usability, but I didn't think much about it at the time. I thought it just simply meant user-friendly. However, as I went down a few rabbit holes and did a deep dive into usability research, I found that perceived usability encompassed so much more. It encompassed effectiveness, efficiency, engagement, error tolerance, and ease of use. Upon closer inspection of the definition of those terms, I noticed there is a great deal of overlap or alignment between these variables and the learning preferences for adult learners. Now, I just needed a tool to measure these variables. The System Usability Scale, or SUS, is a widely recognized and widely used tool for assessing perceived usability. It's reliable, quick to administer, and valid, even with small sample sizes, qualities that make it ideal for use in educational research. The SUS evaluates key factors that impact the usability of a system, including effectiveness, efficiency, engagement, error tolerance, ease of use, and self-efficacy. And as previously mentioned, those same factors are crucial in creating an optimal learning environment for adult learners. And the literature has demonstrated that minor modifications to the question do not affect the validity or reliability of the scale. For my study, I modified the classic SUS to fit the unique nature of our at-home, hands-on, and virtual laboratory experiments in a science course. These lab experiences are critical for students to apply their knowledge in practical, interactive ways. By using the SUS, I could evaluate how students perceive the usability of these lab experiences and determine which factors influenced their learning outcomes. As the SUS had never been used, at least to the best of my knowledge, to assess a laboratory experiment, I also added some open-ended questions to the survey to corroborate the quantitative findings with qualitative work. So, what did we find? The results showed that the modified SUS was highly effective in capturing students' perceptions of their laboratory experiences. While the results were consistent with the literature for traditional students, there was no significant difference between students' perceived usability of the hands-on and virtual experiments. I did discover that students really did not enjoy the assigned experiments in either format. The SUS has been normed to a grading scale, and the experiments received a B at best and a D at worst. We have used versions of these same experiments for several years. The students had never mentioned the challenges encountered when completing the labs. Through the mean raw score item analysis, the SUS also identified several key factors that significantly influenced their learning experiences, including ease of use of the experiments, their engagement levels, and the perceived effectiveness of the activities. These same factors were identified in the qualitative strands of the mixed method study, corroborating that the 10-question Likert scale SUS alone is an effective tool to identify which subfactors had the greatest influence on the overall SUS score. The findings highlight the value of exploring cross-disciplinary tools in educational research. By adopting this quick and easy user experience tool, I gained a clearer, more nuanced understanding of how students engage with and experience these lab experiments. It's not just about whether the labs are educational, but whether they're effective, enjoyable, and accessible for learners, particularly adult learners who often juggle multiple responsibilities. The SUS provided valuable insights into how students perceive their laboratory experiences, helping me to identify ways to improve the design and delivery of these learning activities. I hope this presentation gives you a better understanding of how usability research and tools like the SUS can be applied to enhance educational experiences. Thank you for your time.